internet or anything, through one of these ticket brokers, you're allowed to do that. Now, the question was, what about all you people on the wait list and a lot of people who are Denver Bronco fans that don't get a chance to go to the game? How can they get access to those tickets rather than people that aren't Bronco fans, Steeler fans, or whatever? And the answer is, right now we have a site with our ticket distributor, Ticketmaster, called Ticket Exchange, where you can do that. And there are tickets for sale there. Now, they're generally going to be priced higher. People are trying to recoup a piece of their investment in the team, and that is their right. And we have no right to try and stop them from doing that. There are other websites, there are other ticket brokers. We do to try and do some single game initiatives with season ticket with our wait list, and we do our best we can to try and get people to use Ticket Exchange so that it will go. We can get the emails and all of our notifications out to our wait list people, but most season ticket holders are looking at this like their own business, and I don't blame them for it. If you've got a ticket for $100 on the lower level in the first 30 rows, and it's a night game, and you're not thrilled about going out to the Pittsburgh Steelers night game, and somebody from Pittsburgh is coming in and is going to pay you $450 per seat for that, you do the math. That's a pretty good transaction for you, and I understand that. And I'd rather you sold it to me for $100 and I put my orange and blue jersey on. I really would, but who am I to tell you you can't do otherwise? And that's a challenge we're going to be facing every year. Mike.
Your contribution and contribution of the Bronco team to the National Sports Center for Disabled is highly appreciated. Are you planning to continue working and helping on the board and as yourself and as a Bronco to raise the money for the program?
Mike's question was, he recognized that we, the Broncos, have had terrific support for an organization called the National Sports Center for the Disabled, which is up in Winter Park, where Mike is from. And it's been an association that goes way back to the 80s. And he asked if we were going to continue that, and I am on the board, and I think I got 2 more years before they run me off, but we'll stay with it for as long as we can, which will be as long as I'm there and Pat's there. So the answer is yeah, we'll continue to support it. Bev.
You made the statement earlier that you had such a great experience watching at home on your HD, etc. And I know a lot of that has to do with the replays and so forth that you're able to get. And I've had tickets for 41 years, and today it seems like you see the play, and sometimes you see a replay, but it's usually an ad, or they're doing something else. If they had more replays, it would be a better experience. I feel like right at home I'd see a whole lot more.
It's interesting that everybody, that's the number one, the question was, or the statement was, that we need more replays on our boards. And everybody I would poll in the stadium would say the exact same thing. I would tell you we show a majority of our plays. It happens quickly. You might not catch it. But we've got to do a better job. This is the number one issue in the in-stadium experience. The number one issue is greater expansion of replays, shown more than once. And then the second issue, believe it or not, is statistics for fantasy football, which, I play with my kids, but I don't pay attention. But, and actually, not that many people, in the aggregate across the country, it's not that huge a market, but everybody wants to know the stats. They want to know the scores of the other teams, the other games going on at the time, the earlier games and things like that. So it's a valid point. We're constantly looking at it, and we do have to do a better job of making it catch your eye, because we're showing a lot of them, but you're not noticing, and that is a fact. We got to fix that. One more question? Yes, ma'am.
Could you just talk a little bit about the collective bargaining agreement that you're trying to, you guys then, or renew, I guess. But what's the likelihood of the strike, and just in general, can you kind of put that out in a nutshell?
I'll do it vaguely, because if I do it specifically, I'd get a big fine letter from Roger Goodell on my desk in a couple of days. But here's the deal. The collective bargaining agreement expires in 2000, at the end of the 2011 season. This coming year, 2010, becomes what I said earlier, an uncapped year. And there are system rules in the uncapped year that restrict movement of players, restrict salary increases to players, that generally make players uncomfortable. Okay, so it becomes a chip or it becomes a reality that both sides need to sit down at the table and work some things out. To extend the agreement, hopefully keep a salary cap, not have uncapped years. For those of you that think that an uncapped year is going to produce exorbitant salaries for players, stay tuned, is all I will tell you. So, having said that, you've got this period of uncertainty. The other thing you have is the owners have the right in 2011 to lock the players out to get a new deal. That's written into the CBA. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to see us lock out. You don't want to worry about a franchise that's worth somewhere between $500 million and $1.3 billion to, you know, haranguing with a group of players whose average salaries are $1.5 million or $1.8 million. That is distasteful to you as a fan, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe it's interesting, but I don't want to hear from you because I don't think it's going to be a pleasant conversation, and I respect that. So that's sort of the Titanic hitting the iceberg. I hope, and I don't think it would come to that. I would think clearer minds would prevail. But that's kind of what's looming out there, and that's what you're reading about. So if you go to specific websites where there are media experts that cover the National Football League on a national basis, you'll read some of that and you can get educated on it, and you can believe their opinions. They'll offer you plenty of opinions. But, you know, there are meetings weekly. There was a meeting yesterday. Pat Boland is the chairman of the labor committee for the league. I serve on a subcommittee that feeds up this, what we call the system issues, and that's all kinds of things from drug testing to, I won't go into the myriad of details, but it's a constant dialogue and a constant conversation because nobody wants to. I mean, the public doesn't want to see a lockout. They would just be disgusted with that, and who can blame them? So that's kind of as much as I can tell you where we're at. Is that it?
Thank you, Joe. You know, thank you for coming out and taking the time to share the Bronco business with us. You know, it is obviously from the question, there's a lot of passion around your business, and I think that's a good thing. I would love in my business to go down the street and see my customers wearing my brand all over their clothing and pasted on their cars and their boats and their homes. But that's a great business to be in. As part of that, we'd like to present to you a couple of things for coming out to see us today. We know you have enough footballs on hand, so we'd like to present to you a baseball that represents what we call the Branch Rickey Award. It's an annual fundraiser that we do every year that we give to a baseball player who exhibits the type of humanitarianism that we represent here at Rotary. And I also like to give you a silver dollar that is from Denver Mint. And just again to say thank you very much for coming out. We certainly appreciate it.